So a big over.
It is a big over, and you would expect one of the senior players, either Mike Atherton, Mike Watkinson, the captain, to just have a word with Jason Gallion midway through this over. Now, come on, look, you're pitching it too short, too wide. Get it up there, right in the block hole. Hit him on the toes.
That's the one. $15 off the over, 210 for 6, 7 overs to go. Words from Paul Allott, then to take you through to the end of the match, Richie Beno.
3:0:30 speaks for itself. Nobody's speaking to Jason Gallion, which is a pity. A little bit of encouragement, the odd word. Wouldn't to go amiss. He's tried hard, he's just put it in the wrong area. Mike Watkinson won't be impressed. A little bit of encouragement wouldn't have gone amiss though, and he's resorting now to his best bowler, Peter Martin, coming back the grandstand end. And if Peter Martin bowls the way he has done for his previous overs, then this should put Lancashire firmly back in the driving seat. Superb figures, 8 overs, 3 maidens, 1 wicket for 15, and he's past the outside edge of the bat so many occasions.
Slower ball, and it completely deceived the batsman. Didn't get a wide for it and wanted one. It didn't deprive him of playing a stroke. Another slower ball. It's one of the secrets of bowling towards the end of an innings in limited overs cricket, that you need control of your change of pace. A number of players around the world who do that very well. One is the Australian Stephen Waugh. Simon O'Donnell, when he was playing, was another. They've perfected it. Very valuable.
Very useful, especially when a batsman is trying to set himself and premeditate a shot, in which case part of that premeditation includes the pace of the ball.
I don't think they'll get that. My first impression was it came off the pad. Perhaps it hit the bat as well.
It was certainly a brilliant take. My first impression was they were appealing for LBW, but I might change that. Brilliant take by Warren Hegg, diving away to his right. And that must have come off bat. It hasn't been signalled a leg by as such, but let's have another quick look at that. Could have come off the back pad, but my initial impression from the first 2 replays was it had come off the outside edge of the bat.
Leg by had been signalled now by umpire Plews, who's under a little pressure. In the end, it was Peter Martin who said to him, "I wonder if you could help me out with an explanation." No good looking for a wide there, not if you've been shuffling around, you've gone away from your stumps.
It's also a little bit late for mid-wicket conferences too. Very much a time for cool heads and getting bat on ball.
You might be able to help me here. I've never been able to understand the shuffle away outside the leg stump, as we saw just there. Why did they do it? Why did you do it if you did?
I certainly did do it. It worked now and again. In fact, more than now and again. That's well, the point about that particular delivery is well bowled by Peter Martin, who saw the footwork. It's a question of timing the footwork. If you move too early, telegraph your intentions too early, then you give too much of the game away to the bowler.
It's a good over from Peter Martin. Feels aggrieved that he didn't have success in it, but umpire Clues will set him right on that. 9 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for 15 for Peter Martin. That's a good performance.
This was the ball that had us all guessing. No harm in looking at that catch again. I'll put catch in inverted commas. It's a question of looking there as to whether or not that's just been a thin outside edge that sent the ball to Warren Haig's right. I think it was.
.68 from 6 needed. Not impossible. Depends how they strike the first couple in this over from Ian Austin. It's a sweater day here at the racecourse ground at Derby. Sometimes sleeveless, sometimes long sleeves. And you may be wondering what that bit of plaster is. Doesn't look all that crash hot. Not really fashionable. But it is over the name of last year's sponsors for the Lancashire team, and it's there because the sweaters with this year's sponsor's name on haven't yet arrived. Bass and 9X respectively. To 8 in for 6, and we're into the 50th over, almost through it. Need 3 boundaries in the next over. And you don't need that. A little touch of pressure, perhaps. I think it would be, not the way the game's placed, but you never know.
I'm going to say it's lucky it's not really close. There's no real excuse for that at all. And Nick Speake tries to get everything behind it. It can only be just a blink of the eye at the last moment. He's got every right to be quite embarrassed. That really is giving away runs. It was just a comfortable one. Everything under control. The ball was hit firmly straight to him. And that should have been the end of the story.
236 for 2 against 222 for 6, so Derbyshire won't have given up hope yet, because they'll know that comparison. They'll know that they're within touching distance at this stage, but they still need another 59 from 30 balls. They need those 3 boundaries I mentioned in this one over. Pitch up here is a credit to the groundsman and the ground staff. It's produced a lot of runs, 280 for Lancashire, 224 so far for Derbyshire. And neither side has yet been bowled out. Just 11 wickets down in all. And there's 4. And that's one of them. Got to take 3 in and over at this stage.
Well, at least the shuffle worked this time. Outside the leg stump, back in front of the stumps, and a good clean thick edge. Fine of the long leg man, that's the key. Really is just a question of keeping the bowler guessing. But the key is to try and make sure you get the bat on the ball at the end of it all.
One needed from 26 balls, just on 2 per ball. Nicely timed. 10 yards either side of that man out at deep square, and Cork would have been okay. And a deep square, but he can't get it. Now, that suddenly becomes a good over. Good over for Derbyshire. Colin Wells has got that wide of the man at deep square. 13 off the over.
Just not quite full enough there from Peter Martin. It wasn't the worst over he's bowled, or will bowl, shall we say, in his career. By and large, got the ball well up there. The difference between that and the previous over he bowled was that, well, Cork and Wells between them got the bat on it. Previous over, when Dominic Cork was shuffling round the crease, he didn't make contact.
Good shot. There's a man down at long off. Very, very good stroke. He picked out the gap and just couldn't quite get it straight enough.
That straight boundary back up towards the commentary box is about the shortest boundary on the ground, so that's the best place to be looking, in a sense, for boundaries. A lot of space wide on either side.
I don't think the Lancashire skipper is going to like that too much. Just a little spray onto the leg side, and this is good cricket from Dominic Cork. Also from Colin Wells.
Oh, Dominic Cork gets himself into a good position here by advancing down outside off stump. He took that ball from 6 inches, 9 inches wide of off stump. Long leg was up on the edge of the circle, so that's another of the big gaps. And at times like this, captains find they just cannot cover every part of the field.
That's very well bowled by Austin. That's one of the great benefits of the fielding circle, or the restriction of fielders. There must be 4 inside that circle, or it's more of a semicircle. And that stops the purely defensive fields. Every dot ball is being cheered now.
That was the only option Ian Austin had. There was no way he was going to get a hand down there in time. That ball was very firmly struck by Colin Wells. But it doesn't matter as long as it works.
Ian Austin came out and played a season in Australia, in Sydney, with the Randwick club. And the Randwick players don't make a fetish of stopping the ball as he did there, but in the outback, when they're playing their competitions and they're playing in heavy boots with hobnails, that is one method. He's just got it away from the infield. Good cricket again from Cork. He's induced the shorter ball from Ian Austin. Well now, 10 from that over.
Did very well to get that away over the onside field, considering it was virtually just inside the return crease on the offside. Desperate method certainly needed by Derbyshire. It's really a question of Dominic Cork and Colin Wells. They've got to outguess every ball what the bowler is going to do and just take the initiative. What Dominic Cork is doing is basically making his mind up before the ball is bowled where his chosen target area is, and wherever the ball goes, he tries to get it there.
Well bowled. This is where a cool head will be very valuable. Earlier in the day, Derbyshire won the toss and put Lancashire in. They made 280 with Gallion 39, Atherton 100 and Crawley 73. Run chase towards the end, wicket sacrificed. All out 280, 281 to win, and the bowling was a bit of a mixture.
The Derbyshire bowling started well enough. De Freitas and Mortensen, De Freitas especially, right on target at the start of the day. But after that, really too expensive all the way down the line. Dominic Cork, Colin Wells, all struggling to get the right line consistently. Alan Warner bowled a good spell towards the end of that innings, where it looked as though Lancashire might get up even to 300. But two crucial wickets as the Lancashire batsmen were trying to achieve that final acceleration, and those two wickets slowed it down so that 280 was the target.
Could be a good catch. And there's pressure again. Gary Yates, the off-spinner, who bowled pretty well early on. Now Lancashire have got to pull themselves together. They're in trouble.
Same thing again. Dominic Cork looking for the space, premeditated. Gary Yates came in about 15-20 yards and did everything right until the end. Got himself into a good position, got there to take the ball at waist height, the ideal sort of height, and out she popped.
Well bowled, just the single. Drop catch, Gary Yates, when he sees it again, will have a little glance at the fact that his hands are apart just that instant before the ball arrived there. All thumbs and pressure. That's safe. Oh, and Nick Speak, for one instant, would have been looking at that and how much it was going to skid. He was able to pull it in. Their problems have increased now, Derbyshire. 2 runs a ball a little while ago, now it's more than that. And a deep square. Seven off the over, not quite good enough. It now becomes a question of needing 29 from 12 balls.
Well, it would seem that Lancashire still have enough of a margin. They'd be semi-suicidal now if they managed to lose it from here. Just a question of Mike Watkinson as captain, keeping his head. He's going to give the ball to Ian Austin for his last over. Ian Austin, very experienced bowling at the end of the innings like this. And he will know that if he can get 6 balls up on Yorker length, then he should really have done the bulk of the rest of the job. That should be enough from here on.
Good ball from Ian Austin. Watkinson hasn't quite got himself into a bit of a bind out there, but look at the bowling figures. Indicates that the last over would need to be bowled either by Yates, the off-spinner, which it won't be, Gallion or Watkinson himself. I think the captain would want to bowl that over.
I don't suspect that Gary Yates is going to bowl it.
Shot for 4.
Well, that's the difference between the Yorker and the full toss. Very well struck by Dominic Cork, because he managed to get it over, directly over Mike Watkinson at extra cover. Leant back to give himself that leverage. Ball really raced away over the top of Mike Watkinson.
Very good stroke. A bit more pressure on the fielding side. Mike Watkinson, the skipper, he may be thinking at the moment that he will have to bowl the last over. That's a good shot. Risky, but doesn't matter. Got to do it.
Desperate times need desperate methods. It really is a fine margin. That ball, had it been, shall we say, another foot and a half further pitched up, would have been far more effective.
He's done it again. In fact, they have done it again. Austin has bowled the full pitch, and Cork has smashed it away behind square leg for 6. Wonderful hit.
Well, the great thing about this shot is it's just beautifully timed. A little bit of top edge in it, but he's got in exactly the same position again. Ian Austin has tried to compensate, tried to bowl that foot and a half further up, and he's got it too far up. Again, just proving how difficult a job it can be at this stage of the game. But full credit to Dominic Cork, because he just managed to get it away like that. He's middled it, helped it on its way. 10 off 2 balls.
Now, here is a calculated gamble by Mike Watkinson, who's limbering up there, but he's brought up the 3rd man. There's a chance here for Dominic Cork to play on the offside. An unlucky, versatile and imaginative, but unlucky. Dominic Cork has made 50 in 32 balls. It has been brilliant to watch.
Well, he's certainly proved himself adept at the unorthodox, Dominic Cork, much as he did in the Benson Hedges final last summer. And he played a key role in that game then, which Derbyshire, of course, won.
Well, they might get 2 from the misfield. Will do. No misfield, or if it had gone straight out to long off, only the single. All right, now there is a very, very lively situation in the last over. Austin, 11 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 65. It's got to be Mike Watkinson. 270 for 6. They must make 11 off this over to win. If it's a tie, then it's the least number of wickets to fall. Lancashire lost 5 in making 280. Derbyshire have lost 6 in making 270. Now they need another 11 for victory from 6 balls.
Well, learning from that last over, Mike Watkinson is setting a very similar field again this over. The 3rd man is up on the edge of the circle. That long leg is back out wide on the long leg boundary. Man out at deep square leg, man out at long on, man out at long off, and a man out at deep cover as well, sweeping on or near that particular boundary. So Dominic Cork has the reverse sweep available again, as he had to the last ball of Ian Austin's over.
Dot ball. Well, third man is up inside that circle.
Well, it's obviously a very tempting gap. It could be a shrewd double bluff here, because I tend to think that if Dominic Cork wants to score on the offside, he's still better looking to score in front of the wicket. There's a lot of space over extra cover. He hit that ball from Ian Austin in the previous over extra cover for Ford more easily than he's going to connect with this reverse sweep, which has to be the harder shot. And before that ball, anything to a ball would have done.
Here's a man out at deep point. He's going to cut it off. Let's get the two. I think they'll be content to have Dominic Cork retain the strike. So it's now 9 from 4 balls. That is difficult, but it'll put a new complexion on if Dominic Cork can hit a boundary. It's been a very, very exciting day here.
And I think that's his best option, aiming to play similar shots to that, at least initially for the next couple of balls. There's a lot of space out towards deep cover there. Virtually any ball in that area will get him 2.
And that field is going to cut off again. They'll still get 2. They must score off everything. That's why the first ball, where he tried the reverse sweep, is likely to be a bit of a problem, but it's 7 from 3 at the moment. Still need a boundary very, very badly. Get it down to 3 from 2. Difficult to believe that when Mike Watkinson took himself off, he had in the back of his mind that he might be coming back to bowl the final over. Oh, that's a good shot. That is a wonderful stroke from Dominic Cork, and his batting partner Colin Wells was down there into his ear before the ball even hit the boundary.
Well, he's certainly been practicing this shot, and it's working very well for him. Great thing is there he keeps his eyes on the ball. It's what you might call a controlled slog. He's preempted the bowler yet again. If you make good contact like that, there's plenty of space to play with. The man at square leg is very square, the man at long leg at about 45 degrees.
Well, it is a great effort. A wonderful shot. He's finished it with a 6. Dominic Cork is the hero. There are plenty of them around. But Dominic Cork is the one of the moment. That is a sensational victory for Derbyshire. They put Lancashire into bat. They chased an enormous total, and they got there in the final over with just 1 ball to spare.
Well, again, the margin was just inches, wasn't it? Just out at deep square leg there. That shot went straight over John Crawley, who'd taken a step or 2 in from the boundary. There'll be some very long faces going back into that Lancashire dressing room now. They've let it slip, very definitely let it slip. But full credit to Dominic Cork. This was the shot that won the match. It's not a bad shot from 2.5 feet wide of off stump. And just clearing John Crawley, who's all he can do is sit on the boundary boards, sit on the advertising boards and ponder.
A wonderful clean hit. And he deserves every moment of excitement that's come out there. That is brilliant cricket from Dominic Cork. Won't do him any harm for his future either, because as it happens, the chairman of the England Selection Committee is here today, and they're just getting cracking on choosing England's limited overs team for the first of the one-dayers against New Zealand. Dominic Cork has just made 64 not out. He's just won the match, and it took him just 37 balls to do it, and he and Philip de Freitas were the pick of the bowlers early on. 6 for 284. 54.5 overs. That is brilliant stuff.
Well, you're allowed the full 55 overs if you're going to win these matches. And the great thing for Derbyshire were their